All righty, we're live. College Football Saturday is here. He's Jim Dunaway. He's Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. It's our College Football Saturday pregame show presented by Johnston RV Center, johnstonrvcenter.com. Go get those toy haulers. Check them out. As low as $219 a month with approved credit. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. It is johnstonrvcenter.com. They bring you this every single Saturday morning. We'll be here at 9 o'clock. LT, what is up? How are you today?
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm excited. Week one of a full slate of college football. And, just driving around this morning and getting breakfast for me and Lady Bird, it looks like it's going to rain today. And I don't care if it pours. It can pour all day.
Hey, look. Jimmy Giggles, what are you laughing at already?
Well, two things there because he didn't realize what he just said. First thing is the energy. I was not expecting that from Lance this morning.
He's fired up, man. It's football.
You started off about a 6. LT, how about you? Man, I'm great, man. That's fantastic. I'm ready to go. He came in at an 11. I love that. And number 2, you just said you don't care if it rains all day long. I'm the streamer on the show. Both of you are on satellite. If it rains all day long, you guys are watching in low definition or no football at all, Lance.
I got Tommy Firestick. I mean, I might not be able to have the multiple TVs that Brown's got behind him, but I'm going to have to watch USC at least the first half. I'm glad that game kicks at 5 on the Pac-12 network, but I was corresponding with Tommy Firestick last night, and he's got me hooked up for at least a month of Pac-12 football.
At least a month. All right.
At least a month.
Yeah. As we said the other day, this will be the last time you ever have to worry about. Well, maybe not the last time, but one of the last times you ever have to worry about the Pac-12 network.
Let's start there. Let's start there real quick.
Okay.
If I was USC, UCLA, and if I was Oklahoma and Texas, as I tweeted to promote the show earlier this morning, I'd be back it up, Terry. Back it up. I'd go back to the conferences. That's an easy path in the Big 12 and the Pac-12 to get an automatic bid.
Yeah, and I think it really is. It's funny. I don't know how much expectations out there for the Pac-12. It's been an irrelevant conference forever. I mean, the last time we saw a team in the 14 playoff was Washington. How long ago was Washington and Chris Peterson against Alabama and Atlanta?
Well, that was 2016, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah. Utah is one of those teams that I love. I mean, tough game tonight, which I know we'll get into. I was listening to some of these guys on one of the ESPN channels earlier, and Stanford Steve has got UCLA in his college football playoff.
Whoa. Stanford Steve has UCLA in the 14 playoff?
Yeah. And I had them in our rankings, and I think UCLA is going to be good. Are you wearing UCLA gear?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I've got our home team gear on, the Bama.
Oh, okay.
I got the gear that feeds us, boys.
Hey, by the way, our friend Steve Powers told me the bikini contest is today, and he said, I've got a slot for you if you want to come MC it with me.
Yeah,
it's this close, but I knew what would happen. If I got down there, college football would probably be on the back burner, and I'm too excited about today.
Oh, by the way, if you're at the Bama today, that's 3 p.m. in the tent stage for the finals of the bikini contest.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I got all the information.
Hey, so real quick, and if you'll hit us up in the chat over here, any games you want us to talk about, we'll get to those games. We'll treat it like an Ask Us Anything except for football games. So any games you want us to hit on, we'll get to those over there in the chat. So drop those in. We're gonna pepper a few in of our choosing. Real quick though, after we ended yesterday's live show, you guys saw the reports that the university presidents have said, all right, let's get this 12-team playoff going. We need it down by 2026. So I would imagine in the next couple of years, we're probably gonna have a 12-team playoff. How does that excite you guys?
I mean, I was one of those. I was for a 4-team. The more football, the more meaningful games, I'll take it. I know a lot of people think it will damage the regular season. I just think more meaningful games. I don't know how we're going to play that first round Dunaway. If we get some on-campus games, I think it'd be really awesome. But I'm all about it. I'm a little surprised that they're not going to expedite this and get it done a little sooner than 2026. I know there's a television contract in place until that, but I'd like to see it sooner than later. But I'm excited about it.
Oh, they can get it done before then. It just would involve ESPN and ABC having the first right of refusal to broadcast it. And, everybody's got to be okay with ESPN and ABC having it all for the first couple of years if we want to get it done sooner. One of my guarantees was Oklahoma and Texas comes to the SEC earlier. Maybe that's what has happened because everybody, this was the same plan, wasn't it, Brown, that we had last year that everybody said, no, no, no. Let's form our alliance. We can't expand that fast. Now, I mean, it's the top 6 conferences, automatic qualifiers, top 6 wild cards. That's why I started off saying if I was Oklahoma and Texas, I'd go back. Oklahoma and Texas is coming into a league where they're going to be on an annual basis. They're usually going to be somewhere between 3 and 7 in the conference. And if they stay in the Big 12, they're going to be 1-2 every year projections. Same way with USC and UCLA going to the Big 10. They're going to go over there, and USC is going to be somewhere between 2 and 3 in the conference. Not bad for them. UCLA will have no chance. I would stay where I was for both of those. I like the automatic qualifiers, but if you got the 6 top conference champions and we're getting rid of either the Pac-12 or the Big 12, what does that leave us with? That leaves 4 there. So hats off to UAB and the American, or hats off to the Sun Belt, everyone in the Sun Belt, or the Mountain West. I mean, there's 2 spots open for those conferences now if we end up losing one of those other conferences.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun, man. Let's just say that Nick Saban is still around, and we just recently signed that 7-year deal or whatever. But if he's still there, Alabama hosting one of these mid majors. I know it doesn't excite a lot of people, but I think it's kind of fun.
Well, we'll see. And Pete Thamel, here's the weird thing, though. Pete Thamel reported from ESPN that the thing that slowed this down for about a year was the fact that Warren, the guy that just left the Pac-12, I can't remember his name already.
Larry Scott.
Larry Scott. And then the Big 12 commissioner were pissed at Sankey about the Oklahoma-Texas thing.
Right, yeah.
And that's what slowed this down is they didn't want to deal with Sankey, which is so childish, especially considering Kevin Warren eventually did the exact same thing he was mad at Sankey for doing.
Everybody would have taken Texas and Oklahoma.
Of course.
But see, that's it. That gave them 1 year to get their realignment in place. And now they're like, okay, we can do this now because we have the matching parts to Oklahoma and Texas. But again, and I know you're getting more money, but what's the money payout if USC and UCLA and Oklahoma and Texas had stayed in the Big 12? If those conferences are giving at least one an automatic, even if they're a one bid league, that automatic path to the Big 12 Pac-12 championship champion changes the landscape of those conferences at all. I'll ask you guys: is that enough for the Pac-12 to survive? If they get an automatic bid, I mean, do you pick up a San Diego State and a Boise State and say, hey, we're fine with this. We're going to get college football playoff money. We're going to send one team every year out of this conference to the playoffs. We're fine.
Yeah, I mean, you just handpicked 2 Mountain West teams, and the Mountain West is, I don't know if they've thrived. They've definitely survived. So Pac-12 will still have a couple of brands in it, especially if you can get Oregon and Washington to stay around. So, yeah, I think they'll survive. It's just going to be a weekend conference. Pulling for USC, I hate the fact that USC and UCLA have gone to the Big Ten. It makes financially it makes sense, but I like the old school Pac-12 conference.
All right, this is the College Football Saturday Morning Show presented by Johnston RV Center, johnstonrvcenter.com, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. See those toy haulers starting at just $219 a month with approved credit, johnstonrvcenter.com. Also, thank you to Champy's world famous fried chicken, Dunaway. A great place to start your game day is Champy's Chicken in Alabaster.
Yeah, some of you right now are starting to head down for your tailgate experience at Jordan Hare or Bryant Denny. We remind you, if you haven't already planned ahead, it's never too late. Sterling will accommodate you. Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. You can order in advance and have it ready for pickup on the way. Pick it up a day before. You know how good the chicken at a tailgate is when it's reheated, or even you can eat it a little chilled. They got all the sides, those Mississippi Delta tamales. It's easy. See everything at champy'schicken.com. Highway 119. If you just want to go by and watch the games, they got a great beer selection as well. Home for Blues, Brews, and Bird is Champy's Chicken.
All right, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to click that thumbs up. Also, if you're just watching us on YouTube, you haven't subscribed, please do that. Wherever else you're watching us, like us. Subscribe on YouTube, download our app, retweet us, share us with everybody. You know what to do, all right? That helps us out when you do that. Let's get to some of the games. We'll start from last night real quick. Michael says, how about that Virginia Tech game? Lance, I know it was your lock. It was my upset alert. Virginia Tech falls at Old Dominion in a yucky game. The quarterback play in that game was just atrocious.
Yeah, Brent Pry. I don't know what's happened to Virginia Tech. Again, I think it shows you how good of a coach Frank Beamer was. That offense was completely awful last night.
Yeah. Hey, hats off to you two. Both of you picked it. I didn't think Virginia Tech would let it happen again. Old Dominion, and again, hats off to you two, but hats off to the Sun Belt Conference. I've been loving on the Sun Belt the last few years. Old Dominion's in there now, and that's another big win for them. And you throw in Marshall and Southern Miss, and boy, I love that league these days. And back to the playoff thing, the Sun Belt could almost every year maybe put a team into the playoffs. How about that?
Hey, how did Virginia Tech ever play for a national championship? I know Mike Vick was there, but
Vick, yeah.
When you start to look at the program now, I mean, it's almost a bottom feeder in the ACC.
Well, Frank Beamer. I mean, this only helps Frank Beamer's legacy, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah, like Lance said, it just shows you how hard that job was that he built up. All right, I'm going to confess, I had some things going on last night. Did not see the end of this. Paul says Illinois got screwed. Indiana.
I was at dinner. I didn't see the end. I was watching on my phone. I'm so rude during football season. Don't even go out to eat with me. I'll never go on a Saturday night, but on Friday nights, I got the phone out if I can't watch. I had Indiana. The game dropped all the way to a pick. I don't really know what happened as far as Illinois getting screwed.
I had the upset. That was my upset alert, but I had 3.5, so I still cover at 3 there. Sean Shivers, the Auburn transfer, first of all, he got lit up early, but he battled back from that. I think it was the first play from scrimmage for Indiana. He got blown up. But he scores the eventual game winner. Didn't see controversy. I saw a great goal line stand from Indiana that kept them from Illinois from making it an 8-point game. So I too was out eating dinner when it was going on, so I'm not familiar with the controversy. And then I saw Indiana drive down and score late and win it, but I'm not familiar with any of the controversy.
I did catch the end of the second quarter and second half of TCU Colorado.
Me too.
A lot of people think TCU might be a dark horse in the Big 12. Sonny Dykes in his first year. It was a sloppy first half, but TCU dominated the second half of that game.
Yeah, one thing in that one, LT, is that you've got so much speed on the edges for TCU, which I'm not familiar with them having that much speed. I think Sonny's offense there is going to be eye-opening for the Big 12. It's going to be sort of a, throw it way back in the Big 12, I don't know, to the teens when they used to play a lot of wide-open offense. That's the way TCU is going to look, and they took it to Colorado last night with a lot of speed and special teams and on the edges.
Well, you got multiple quarterbacks that can really play for Sonny Dykes. The interesting thing is their best player is now gone, and Zach Evans will be playing tonight for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss against Troy. Just imagine if they still had Zach in that conference. I mean, to me, that is the most wide open conference in all of college football is the Big 12, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if TCU won that conference.
Well, I mean, just guys, look at what we've already seen in the Big 12. Kansas is still Kansas, but we've seen Oklahoma State, who's got a dynamic offense, at least against Central Michigan, but their defense is a massive question mark right now. And then I thought TCU looked pretty good. We'll see, the rest of the conference today. I'm interested. Oklahoma, Utep. I mean, I guess that's one of the Saturday games we can jump into. It's going to be a bloodbath probably, but I am interested at least in seeing what a team at Oklahoma not coached by Lincoln Riley or Bob Stoops looks like. It's been a while since we've seen that. But Brent Venables' debut with Oklahoma, a massive favorite over UTEP. I think it is at least interesting to see that, and also Jeff Levy with Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Gabriel, 70 passing touchdowns the last 3 seasons. That's the most amongst any active quarterbacks in the FBS.
Yeah.
So this is a guy that's got a lot of talent. I'll never forget, Dunaway, you were in my basement, and you said he looks like a kind of a Tua light. Talking about Tua Tagovailoa, because he's a lefty. He's crafty in the pocket. He's got great awareness. He's got a lot of mobility that people don't realize, and he's so accurate. I mean, this guy is a legitimate quarterback now with a legitimate program, with a legitimate offensive coordinator. He's got weapons. Oklahoma is, not only the favorite to win the Big 12, but I could easily see Oklahoma go 11-1 and get to a college football playoff.
I'm so thankful for your memory these days, Lance. That's back-to-back days now that you reminded me of something smart that I've said that I'd forgot. I mean, that was a really smart comment. Tua light. I like that. I forget what the one on the show was yesterday, but I was like, dang, I said that? That's a good comment. I forget all the great things I say. I only remember the bad ones. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, Oklahoma, by the way, 30.5 in that game. It is a 2:30 Fox game, 30.5.
Hey, Utep 2-8 against the number of their last 10 versus top 10 teams. So Utep typically not good in this spot. A lot of points for a first-time coordinator, quarterback, head coach, all on the same page to cover that big number. I'd probably stay away from it.
By the way, real quick, Brett says, Brownie, can't believe you don't have on SEC Nation. That's that TV right there. SEC Network. So there you go. All right. Hey, let's start. This is a fascinating game to me. Right out of the chute, 11 o'clock, ESPNU, North Carolina, who has a game under their belt to win over FAMU. They go to Appalachian State, who is a 2-point favorite as we talk right now. Lance, if I'm reading this right, if I'm wrong here, Appalachian State opened as a 3.5-point dog. It has been bet all the way to the other side. Appalachian State now a 2-point favorite in Vegas. Am I right about that? And B, what does that tell you?
Yeah, what that tells me is this is all smart money because the majority of your public money is on the other side. They're taking North Carolina. Again, North Carolina's already got a game under their belt. Sean Clark's done the kind of job that everybody does at Appalachian State. He's coming off a 10-win season, 12 returning starters. Chase Bryce is a quarterback that we've seen before at Clemson, a guy that Dabo recruited. So you've got a quality starting quarterback. They've been in this situation before. It was in 2016. I remember I got hyped up. I got on the Mountaineer train against Miami, and Martin Rick and Miami came in and blew their doors off. So I'm staying away from this game. You guys know I'm a little hesitant on 11 o'clock games. I like the way the number is moving for Appalachian State because it tells me the smart money is on them, but I'm staying away from it.
How about 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 non-conference games is North Carolina. So scary, scary day there for the Tar Heels.
Yeah. There's Lady Bird. Somebody's asking me to show Charlie. Maybe we could show our dogs at the end of this.
I'm not going to touch mine. You guys okay down there?
Go walk yourself. All right, here's another fascinating game. Straight out of game day, NC State is maybe an ACC. I don't know if you can call them a dark horse. A lot of people think they're right there with Clemson, number 13 in the country. They are a 12.5-point favorite at East Carolina. And Dunaway, it feels like I think both of you guys think this one's a little bit tricky.
It is tricky because in the landmine analytics I look at, it says take East Carolina because of some of the betting trends and this and that. But I just think NC State's the better team here. I think NC State has a focus, and if I'm betting with mybookie.ag today, I'm laying NC State and I'm laying the points at East Carolina.
I'm pulling for NC State. They're one of my drafted teams that we talked about, and I think they're going to be really good this year. This is a tricky game, though. Mike Houston's a pretty good coach. Nobody talks about. This is a team that won 7 games last year. They've got 15 returning starters. They're 8-2 their last 10 against the number as a double-digit dog. This sleepy early morning game. NC State 4-11 against the spread their last 15 road games. This is the highest they've ever been ranked, matching 1975, coming in at number 13. Devin Leary, 35 touchdowns last year, only 5 interceptions, best touchdown to interception ratio in the ACC. I think East Carolina keeps this one extremely close. I'm a little nervous for NC State.
Ooh, a little nervous. Wow, that'd be a brutal loss for them right out of the chute. That'd be a tough day for the ACC if Appalachian State and East Carolina beat North Carolina and North Carolina State. That'd be tough. Especially on the hills of Virginia Tech losing to Old Dominion. Hey, let's stop there for a second. I mean, if all those happen, woo.
Yeah, Pitt should have lost.
Yeah, that's a rough ACC start if those all happen.
Hey, by the way, you guys were right. I was just on game day. I was wondering if Jim Dunaway would make an appearance on game day. They just showed that clip.
I see it behind me. They're already doing that story, huh?
Yeah, well, they have to.
Yeah, it's the week one. You're right. Hey, this is the JohnstonRVCenter.com Saturday preview. JohnstonRVCenter.com. JohnstonRVCenter.com. This is where you find them, those toy haulers starting at just $219 a month with approved credit. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. And Dunaway also presented by Champy's, world famous fried chicken.
What's an easier thing to eat at your house for if you're watching football than hand-cut, hand-breaded chicken fingers from Champy's world famous fried chicken? Easy to take to a tailgate. When you're at a tailgate, you don't want all this, fork and knife food. You want to be able to walk around, drink a beer, chicken, fried chicken from Champy's world famous fried chicken and those Mississippi Delta tamales and a whole lot more. Right there with Sterling and the crew at champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
MJ says, does Brown get the biggest view of the three because of his swanky media wall? Can't hide money. No, we can do this right here. Now, it covers up our Champy's chicken, so we're going to go back. But everybody gets we'll have that fixed. We'll do that week too. Everybody gets a equal size box. Is that all right?
Yeah, I'm going to jump around. This is not going to be my regular spot, so
okay.
I'll go down to my room. Some weeks I'll do it outside. We'll mix it up.
And for those that don't know, I'm renting right now, so I don't want to pay the extra fee to hang anything on these walls for a few months. And I gave up my sports room so that some friends of mine could start a company.
Hey, Lance, am I seeing this right on scoresandodds.com? FS1, 11 o'clock. Iowa is only favored 10.5 over South Dakota State.
I brought that up.
That's one of those outlaw, that's one of those outlaw games that, you can only max out because it's FCS, FBS. I haven't seen that number. I typically stay away from those matchups altogether. But Iowa's offense was awful. Last year they win 10 games, but they only average a little over 23 points per game.
Yeah.
So I could see a low-scoring game, and I could see them keep it under the number.
Yeah, back on our upset Tuesday, I said, South Dakota State, I think number 2 in the FCS. Whatever you think of North Dakota State, South Dakota State's the same thing now. Well, not quite the same, but you think about them as an upset. Like LT said on the show on Tuesday, if you don't score a lot of points, like Iowa doesn't score a lot of points, that keeps the game close in a very Gene Stallings-like fashion from the early 90s. And that's a tricky game, especially with Iowa. Maybe looking ahead to Iowa State next week. That's a big rivalry game. That's next week. That's one of those that I think would be a bigger shock to the system than ODU over Virginia Tech.
Yeah, it would be. I can't remember, but it was a few years ago. We had a stake bet. Kansas State opened with either South Dakota State or North Dakota State. And it came down, I don't even remember who won, but it came down to a goal line situation.
Yeah. I think it was a 23-20, and North Dakota State couldn't punch it in or something like that. I think it was 23-20 something.
All right, let's go to the 2:30 slate, the JohnstonRVCenter.com. Saturday preview. The 2:30 slate starts with the big one over in Atlanta, ABC, number 3, Georgia, number 11, Oregon. At this moment, Georgia favored by 16.5 with a total of 54. How do you boys feel about that one? LT first.
I'm looking forward to the quarterback matchup. Dan Lanning is yet to – I haven't heard that he's named Bo Nix the starter. I assume Bo Nix is going to be the starter. And
well, all the promos ESPN is using for this game have Bo Nix in it. So it's like they just assume it is.
Well, going DraftKings nerd, Bo Nix is a lot more expensive than Ty Thompson. So
I noticed that. Hey, in our DraftKings league, Stetson Bennett was the most expensive quarterback. Yeah. Did you notice that?
I was telling the roommate that today. I was like, your quarterback's the most expensive. And
why?
I'll go to Stetson Bennett first. Again, we sleep on Stetson Bennett. I don't know what people are going to, expect from this offense, but he was third in the FBS with an 87 QBR last year, only behind Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. So we continue not to give this guy credit. When you look at the weapons he'll have this year, it'll be tight ends. Brock Bowers, Eric Gilbert, Darnell Washington. I mean, they've got some weapons for Stetson Bennett. So I'm not really surprised in this spot. I don't trust this Oregon defense at all.
I saw on TikTok last night. I don't know how the
boy he watches TikTok a lot now.
I don't know how. Well, I'm trying to learn so you guys don't farm me out. I mean, I got lectured about old school radio and Facebook the other day by Lunsford and the algorithms and stuff. So I was like, well, I better stay up to date or they're going to send me out to pasture here at the next round. So I'm sitting there and I'm on TikTok last night and I don't know how the algorithms work, but all of a sudden I've got just football pads, topless Stetson Bennett on some girl's feed, and she had put the graphic Studson Bennett. Am I right?
Studson? That's
yes.
pretty good. Yeah,
I
like that.
So I guarantee you that kid doesn't wake up alone if he doesn't want to.
So I hit the heart, hit the thumbs up for that, and I'm sure that's going to feed more of those topless football players into my algorithms.
Of course, yes, it will. Speaking of thumbs up and algorithms, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you've subscribed and hit the thumbs up for this video here. We greatly appreciate that. If you're on Facebook, like it, share it, wherever you're watching us, please share it and retweet. All right, Cincinnati, Arkansas, 2:30 ESPN, fascinating game. Arkansas currently a 6.5-point favorite. The over/under 53.5 in this one.
Yeah.
I think it's a tricky game for Arkansas. Arkansas has gotten better each and every year under Sam Pittman. This is probably his best roster. Treylon Burks losing him to the Titans, that's going to be a big loss, but they're going to be able to run the football. And you look at Cincinnati, they've been good in these spots. 8-2 against the number of their last 10 versus ranked opponents. They're 22-2 the past 2 seasons. That's the third best winning percentage, only behind Alabama. And if you guys can guess the other one, 22-2 for Cincinnati. They're number 3. Alabama's number 1.
Number 2 is you would want to say Ohio State, but it's not Ohio State. I'm going to say it is. Don't say it too fast. Louisiana.
Dunaway drilled it.
Did he really? You know who I was going to say was Coastal Carolina. I thought it was going to be one of those random teams.
Yeah, but I mean, that just shows you the job Luke Fickell's done. I don't know what to expect offensively. I don't know what to expect with their corners. I mean, Arkansas should win this game, but that number, I guess it's got to be where it is. I mean, you can't really make Arkansas a double-digit favorite over a team that just came out of a college football playoff. I don't know. That's a game I am not touching.
Dunaway, you've said all summer long, Arkansas will go line up and just run it right down their throat.
Yeah, that's what I think will happen. But as we get closer and closer to the start of this, and I keep hearing more, all the noise in my head, it starts to scare me a little bit about the Cincinnati and just the program Luke Fickell's built there. That 6.5 may be too much. I think Arkansas still wins the game, but that is starting to look like a big number for me. I'm got game day over one shoulder. You do too, Brown, and I'm looking over here. Is it storming there? Have they moved inside for a reason there, or was that planned? I don't know. I don't know. I know here it's cloudy. LT talked about rain.
I think it's raining. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and I think what happened, because you can see how shaky the Home Depot banners are.
Yeah,
yep.
I don't think that was a pre-planned set right there.
I'm going to guess this is their lightning plan. This is their lightning plan right here.
And that's what I wanted to bring up. We got so many delays in the handful of game of week 0. Yeah, I won't be shocked if we've got delays today.
Oh, yeah.
Even at Bryant-Denny and Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Here's good news. We got so many
Colorado
games.
had one last night. Yeah.
I was going to say we got so many games, at least we'll have other options.
That's true. That's a good point, man. Sorry about that. But I think TCU Colorado had one last night too, didn't they?
One baseball update from last night, Brown, by the way. Tampa Bay beat Yankees 9-0. 9-0.
Okay,
that's one thing I can assure you. I didn't see a baseball score last night.
5 games. Yeah. Only 5 games back in the race against the Yankees.
I'm zoned out right now. Wake me up in October.
Yes, no doubt. It's the JohnstonRVCenter.com Saturday preview. JohnstonRVCenter.com, I-65 exit 304, 334 there in Decatur. Always online. JohnstonRVCenter.com. Financing available. RV warranty forever on all new and used up to 2 years old RVs you buy there. So you take care of it. JohnstonRVCenter.com. And Dunaway, great place to stop on game day. Champy's world famous fried chicken.
You know that, Brown. I don't have to say it, but I'll say it anyway. Champy'sChicken.com. Sterling and the crew right there on Highway 119. Get it easy to go. Just swing by there, pick it up, go back to your house and watch the games, or pick it up, take it to the tailgate, or take it to the office on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday for your office parties. They'll cater for you. Anything. Sterling and the folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. It is amazing food. It is heaven in a deep fryer right there. That's what Champy's Chicken is.
I'm dying for some of the tamales. Lady Bird's never had a tamale from Champy's, and so she might get her first taste of a tamale today.
So if I ran down there and picked something up right at 10:50, would you guys want me to deliver something to you?
Yeah.
Yes, I would very much want that.
I'll trade you out some Delta 8 for some Champy's.
I don't need the Delta 8s. I get high on chicken.
So true story. Me and the roommate and Lady Bird stayed downtown last night, and so we went back to the room a little early, I shouldn't say early, about midnight. And there's a local service. I'm working on them to be a sponsor on the next round.
Of course,
but they'll deliver anything. I had 2 bottles of wine and a pack of Delta 8s delivered to my door.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
It's like a night there, yeah. The old school barter system was like a animal pelt and and some flour or grain. Animal pelt and some grain. LT takes it to a second level, doesn't he, Dunaway?
I will tell you, man. I mean, our society is it's too easy now to get whatever you want. I mean, you're able to sit on your couch, have your groceries delivered. anything you want delivered. DoorDash is just, I don't know. It's too chaotic.
Hey, what do you want? What do you want? You want a bottle of wine? I got a bottle of wine. You want a watch? I got a watch. Oh, you want a Delta 8? Okay, I got that over here. Yeah. Just pick anything. Oh, you want a new shoes for the lady? Here you go. New shoes for the lady.
All right. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like us, and subscribe. All righty. Let's move on to the CBS Sports Network game because Matt wanted us to talk about it earlier. UTSA in Houston. That is a 2:30 CBS Sports Network kick. Dunaway, Houston, the ranked team here on the road in the Alamo Dome. They are favored by 4, a total of 62 right now.
If you know the show history, EA Sports College Football, last time they made it 2013, it's coming back very soon. When I play dynasties, I like to start with bad programs and build them up, but there are only certain ones I like. Houston was always one of those. Dana Holgerson now is getting on my last nerve. It started at the Birmingham Bowl where he got upset about the news conference and Brian Harsin running long and blah, 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 blah. And then, Brown, you brought this up yesterday, and I'd seen the headlines. He's worried about fake noise being pumped into the Alamo Dome. I mean, my goodness. I mean, they're going to have 32,000 fans at the Alamo Dome. They draw well there. I mean, we're in the SEC. Raise your hand if you think at Mississippi State they pump in fake noise. I do. I think they pump it in at there. Is there a chance they pump it in at Jordan-Hare, Bryant-Denny, Tiger Stadium? Maybe, but it's loud anyway. You better coach your team up because UTSA are some ballers there. And, I'm not even sure UTSA is not the better team on paper, LT.
Well, I mean, look, 18 returning starters. McCormick is not back at running back. That's a big loss, but Frank Harris is for his senior year. I love this team last year. They won 12 games. Now, Houston, after losing their opener and losing their final game of the year, they won 12 games in between. But this is this Houston team that comes out. A lot of people feel like they're going to be the Cincinnati of 2022. I think they're going to be really good with Clayton Tune at quarterback. Tank Dell's one of the best receivers in college football. I like UTSA in this spot. They're 4-1 against the number of their last 5 against ranked teams. The only problem I've got with it, this number drops while more money's on Houston, which is always a good sign to me to be on that side. But it's starting to become a trendy pick.
Uh-oh. Trendy pick alert from LT. UTSA in Houston. 3 o'clock SEC Network. I don't know, that this is going to be a tight game. I'm just interested, and I think you guys are too, in watching the Ole Miss quarterback situation. They're favored 21.5 at home over Troy. 3 o'clock SEC Network. What do you expect? I know, Lance, your headline expects Jackson Dart to have a good game. What do you guys expect at quarterback there?
I mean, I like Jackson Dart. I really do. And, for Altmaier, I didn't see a lot when we saw him in spots last year. But I've seen the flashes of Jackson Dart, and I think ultimately he's going to be the starter. And again, going DraftKings nerd, if you look by that, it looks like Jackson Dart will get the majority of the reps for Lane Kiffin. I know that both these guys are going to play. I fully expect Ole Miss to be good at running the football. Again, that's one of the things that the misconception when it comes to Lane Kiffin is this is a guy that has this up-tempo offense, but he loves to run the football. And I think Zach Evans is going to be a major factor this year.
Yeah, I think we learned yesterday on the show that Jackson Dart's a shooter, and shooters take their shot, and I think Dart will do that. The question is, what has kept him from being named a starter? Is it just gamemanship, or has Luke Altmaier played that well, or both of them played back to the medium mindset? I'm with you guys. I think the running back situation and how much they're able to run, Zach Evans, I think that's an exciting thing to watch. I'm not comfortable with that number. Troy is always a program, and I'll go back to it. The Sun Belt underrated this year, underrated conference, underrated most years. That's a tricky point spread. Ole Miss wins the game, but that's a tricky point spread for me, and mainly because I think you may see 2 quarterbacks. And let's get back to this too. Lane Kiffin now without Jeff Lebby, who's at Oklahoma. What's it going to look like with Lane Kiffin as the coach, back to being the guy? I know he's brought in, the guys he's familiar with that he had at Florida Atlantic and others to be the offensive coordinator. But I feel like Lane takes on more of the play calling, and it'll be a little transition today. Scary number for me. Ole Miss wins, and I do think we get more Jackson Dart.
Just a sidebar: Ole Miss 16-0 all time versus Sun Belt.
Ooh, okay. That's a trend in our angle that is good for Ole Miss. Dunaway, keep it going, because you had some inside info on this game from a friend of yours in Tampa. Another fascinating game in the 3 o'clock window. ESPNU, BYU coming across the country to play in the heat and humidity and probably rain of Tampa. favored 11.5 at USF. The over-under is 58. And people in Tampa, Dunaway, telling you not so fast, my friend, on the Cougars.
Yeah, my buddy Brian King down there works with the Fox affiliate in Tampa. Says, hey, they've restocked that roster a little bit. The defense is going to be better for the Bulls. They brought in Jerry Bohannon, who has some success from Baylor at quarterback. You got a guy who has called plays and coached at a high level at Clemson as the head coach there. So if they get a hot day in Tampa in the afternoon, maybe that impacts BYU. I was hoping BYU would sort of navigate this schedule this year and maybe end up 11-1 or 12-0 because I want to see what they get out of the college football playoffs. For me, I think BYU wins this game. I'm not buying it. He tells me don't sleep on USF. So we'll see. It's a big gap for me to close on what I saw from USF last year defensively. I will say this though, that not the best coaches, but as far as the spirit of coaches, Sam Pittman and Kalani Sitake are high on my list of two guys that I love their approach to football, how they coach it and how they play.
I agree.
Okay, I will a couple of trends and or angles. BYU 1-4 their last 5 against the number as a road favorite. On the other side, South Florida a perfect 5-0 their last 5 as a home dog against the number. South Florida was terrible last year. I mean, their defense gave up close to, I think, 38 points per game. They've got 19 returning starters. I don't know if that's good or bad. I agree Bohannon's an upgrade at quarterback. This is one of my 7 plays I've got up at lanceslock.com. By the way, 4-1 in September, 6-2 in college football, coming off a 2-0 last night. So we're already killing it in college football. Jump on board, lanceslock.com. But I do have that game as one of my 7.
MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. They double your initial deposit there at MyBookie.ag when you use the code next round. Lance giving you some info there. We'll keep going unless, Lance, you got anything on USC Rice. I mean, it's 32.5. I know that's your team. You're in the gear. Do you have anything there?
Not really. I think this is it's one of two things. Is USC really want to come out and show everything and try to cover this number? I mean, USC was such a bad product last year, and I know Lincoln Riley wants to really get the crowd excited and get all the backers and boosters excited about this USC, especially their offense. But next week they go on the road, and I've told you guys I really believe with Tanner McKee at quarterback, Stanford's a team that whipped USC last year. I think it's a tricky game for the Trojans. So I don't know how much they show. Do you guys lean Lincoln Riley goes out and just has this, let's explode and let's put up 60 points on Rice? Or let's use, a quarter of the playbook, go through the motions, beat them by 28, and regroup for Stanford.
I like USC to put on a show today, LT. I just think the Trojans, you've built so much momentum, and I just think it just makes for, a better story. You just go out and put a show and try to hang a big number and sort of send a message to the country that we may be everything everyone's talked about.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Dunaway. I think you're in Hollywood, man. You put on a show, right?
That's right. Yep.
That's why 100. You take that job if you're Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, and I guess if you're Lincoln Riley, the mentality is, hey, look, it's 1 week at a time. This is our first year. Let's go out and let's play lights out.
Yeah. All right, JohnstonRVCenter.com Saturday preview. JohnstonRVCenter.com. Also, thank you to Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Click the thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe as well. Like us on Facebook. Retweet us. Do all those things. Help us out. We greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go to the night slate. I'm about to reel off 3 straight 6 o'clock kickoffs that are fascinating to me. 6 o'clock ESPN, number 7, Utah at Florida. As we said right here, Utah favored by 2.5 in Gainesville. Total of 51.5, LT.
Anthony Richardson. I know what Cam Rising can do. He's 9-2 as a starting quarterback. His one of those losses last year to Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, a complete shootout where he gets hurt in the second half, has to come out of that game. I know what he can do. I know what Utah can do up front. Tavion Thomas could, if not Cam Rising, be the best player on the field. I just don't know about Anthony Richardson. I saw him look really good against weak opponents, and he looked really bad against really good SEC opponents. So, and Brown, you pointed this out yesterday. Utah is an SEC-like team.
That's a great point on being a USC-like team. I would say this, an SEC-like team, excuse me. The rain that's in the forecast in Gainesville, that helps Utah, right? Cools things off. That's an advantage Utah.
Unless it stops raining.
Well, then
Oh God! Then you need the nut dust.
Then it becomes humid. Yes, it is going to be hot. But I this Anthony Richardson love, and we did it with Michael Jordan, and I'm not saying Cam Newton was Michael Jordan, but how many times do we keep comparing? Is this athletic quarterback? Is he going to be the next Cam Newton? I know he's athletic, he's big. But Cam Newton was a once-in-a-generation season that we saw that year. And then he went on and won an MVP. To mention Anthony Richardson and Cam Newton in the same breath, boy, that guy's got to get 1,000 times better than when I saw him on the field under Dan Mullen. Maybe it's a new season, and maybe he Joe Burrows or Kenny Pickett's this thing up and goes from nowhere to everywhere. But I want to see it first, and I don't think Utah's the team you do it against today. That's a tough game for me. I'm all in on Utah on this one. Jimmy SEC.
Yeah, well, I'm pulling for Utah because I've got them in the college football playoff. They're one of those teams that I own, but it's a scary game because I think they've got 4 really tricky games on their schedule. It starts in Gainesville, but I could see Utah run them off the field. I could see confusion week 1 for Florida. Anthony Richardson turning it over a couple of times. Utah's not going to be intimidated. They're going to be able to score on this defense. I think we forgot how bad Florida's defense was last year. They only scored 20, or they gave up 27 points per game.
Yeah, and I would say this too in this game. We are basing a lot of what we love about Utah off of Cam Rising, yes, but on what we saw in the Rose Bowl, because for the average college football fan, that may have been the most Utah they saw all year was on January 1st in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. And that was one of the best games, if not the best game of the year. But in retrospect, Ohio State's defense sucked last year. So maybe Utah is not as great as they looked on January 1st. We'll find out a little bit more today, but I do feel like what I saw on January 1st from Cam Rising until he got hurt is enough for me to go Utes in this one.
Dunaway, keep it going. 6 o'clock, ESPN Plus in Myrtle Beach. What a weird game this might be. Army at Coastal. Coastal only favored 2, total of 53.5.
I'm going to say more 4th down attempts in this game than any other game of the day on the slate today. I think Army will go for it on 4th and short, much like our friend Neil Brown should have done on Thursday night. Army will be disciplined, but I can never feel comfortable about taking Army or Navy every year until I see what their quarterback play is like in a new system with the running backs and stuff. The best quarterback in the game, in my opinion, is on Coastal Carolina. But there's just something about the style Army plays that I'm going to lean Army in this game and think they win this contest. But Coastal at least had all camp to prepare for it. It's not like they're having to squeeze it into a short work week.
Well, Grayson McCall is going to be the best player on the field, but Thayer Tyler is a quarterback that is returning starter for Jeff Monken. 16 returning starters from a 9-win team. That's just that methodical where you outpace from Army. I think it's going to be a really physical game. I think it's a great matchup. I lean Army here, but it was too close to call. I stayed away from the game.
Will you watch it? Anybody watch any plays of that one?
If you give me your password.
How do you not have my password?
Because it changes.
I may watch some of this one because it's a 6 o'clock ESPN Plus. So I think it's also SEC Network Plus. So if you've got SEC Network, you don't need Dunaway's password for this one. Miami, Ohio at Kentucky. Kentucky favored 15, total of 54. LT, true or false? Tricky win, not cover, win for Kentucky here.
Well, without Chris Rodriguez, Wan'Dale Robinson was such a weapon last year. There's so much pressure on Will Levis. I could see him press, multiple turnovers. I like Miami of Ohio in this game. You look at Kentucky, 5-10 against the number. Their last 15 is a favorite of 14+. Miami of Ohio, 13-7 against the number. Their last 20 as a dog. But Kentucky has won 16 straight non-conference games. Their last loss, all the way back in 2017, Music City Bowl to Northwestern. That's the longest streak in the FBS, by the way, non-conference wins.
Wow. Dunaway, tricky win, not cover, tricky win.
It just feels like I've seen this happen a lot for Kentucky. That opening game against a team like this, that we leave, Commonwealth Stadium, whatever, Kroger Field, whatever it is, and we're sitting there going, God, that was sort of boring. We didn't look sharp. We were lethargic. that's the kind of game I expect to see from Kentucky today. They are starting true freshman wide receivers of their 3 wide receiver starters. Got a couple of transfers at that position from Alabama and Virginia Tech. I'm going to say Kentucky covers, but barely. I'll take Kentucky.
We don't have to spend a ton of time on this game, but this is the 4th 6 o'clock kickoff I was going to mention. It was almost my sneaky good game. Liberty at Southern Miss. Liberty's favored 3.5. Now, it's a low total, 48.5. But Liberty at Southern Miss, Hugh Freeze returning to the Magnolia State, 6 o'clock ESPN+.
I trust Hugh Freeze. You know, I don't know what happened last year because Malik Willis still had a productive year, but the win total dropped by 4 wins. They only won 7 games last year. Now Charlie Brewer comes in, quarterback that was pretty efficient at Baylor, just didn't fit in Utah. And one of the reasons that Cam Rising came onto the scene was because Charlie Brewer was struggling, and now he's transferred out playing for Hugh Freeze. I think Hugh Freeze will get Charlie Brewer going back in the right direction. I like this Liberty program a lot.
I like them too. But that number, why is it that? I mean, Southern Miss,
small number.
I don't understand that number. So I always figure somebody knows something I don't know. But Jimmy Landmine thinks Liberty wins this one easy.
Yeah, money's pretty split. I stayed away from the game. I agree with you. I think the number was a little skinny. I thought it'd be more like 6 or 7. So we'll see what happens there.
I know Auburn is in the 6 o'clock window. We're going to finish with Alabama and Auburn and get all of our thoughts on that one. This is the Saturday preview presented by Johnston, RVCenter.com, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com, JohnstonRVCenter.com. Also, Dunaway's about to go get those tamales and deliver them to Lance and I from Champy's world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, Champy'sChicken.com. Don't forget a couple of things. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. If you're anywhere else, retweet us, share us, let everybody know, follow us on all our social media at Next Round Live. Also, 2 or 3 of us, depending on how the day goes, will be back after the Bama game. Now, Alabama's the latest kick, so sometime after Alabama. It depends on how the late games are going. We'll be right back here on the same platform you're getting us on, so make sure you catch us after the game for our post-game wrap-up. All right, Dunaway, Notre Dame. Ohio State, that's where game day is. Looks like the weather is clear. They're back outside. 16 points. Ohio State's favored in this one with a total of 59 to open the season.
Turn around real quick and take a look at the screen there, Brown. Hats off to the Christians in the area up in Columbus. Their signs have outnumbered the Washington State signs 2-1 right now. So Redeemers, not Condemners, doing well at the Buckeyes Irish game today.
Good for them,
as you would expect. In this game, I just feel like Ohio State, as the season goes on, we'll debate many times, is Ohio State or Alabama the best team in the country? The voters tell us right now it's Alabama. I think that changes a great deal after this game tonight in prime time against the top 5 team. I think we'll be close. It's a dominant Alabama ranking right now at number 1. It'll be like a 2/3 of the votes, maybe a slightly less than 2/3 will be with Alabama when it's all said and done after today, but a lot more will be with Ohio State. Dominating performance tonight. Buckeyes by more than 17.5. I'd feel comfortable going all the way up to 19.5 on this one.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to remind me before we get out of here what our state bets are today, because I have no idea. But this is it's hard to believe this is just the 7th meeting between Ohio State and Notre Dame. It just seems like I've seen this matchup more. I don't think, they're talking about it right now. Whatever I'm watching here. I feel like Ohio State's going to walk them off. I mean, when you look at this offense, I mean, as long as Ryan Day's there, they're going to have efficient quarterback play. Travion Henderson is an incredible running back coming back for sophomore year. Last 3 years, they've averaged 45 points per game, 539 yards per game, and 7.4 yards per play. That is the best across the board in football. There's not a weakness with this offense. I mean, they are going to be up and down the field on everyone they play. So I don't think that's any different, to start off 2022. And I just think Notre Dame's going to be overwhelmed. And outside of Michael Mayer, I don't really know what weapons they've got. Kyron Williams was such a big, option for this offense last year, and now he's playing for my LA Rams.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's roster is built with an improved defense to beat Notre Dame. Unknown at quarterback for me with the Irish. I don't see this one being as competitive as maybe we would want a top 5 matchup. I just don't. I'm not as excited about this game as everyone else is. I don't know why.
Yeah, game day's trying to sell me on it, but I'm with you guys. I think Ohio State walks them off the field. I agree with Lance. All right, just a few more in the late slate. 6:30 kick, ESPNU. Memphis is at Mississippi State. The Dogs, 17-point favorites, total of 17.5. Kind of a payback game for State from last year. Lance, any trouble for State in this one?
I don't think so. Will Rogers broke the Mississippi State single season records last year, over 4,700 yards, had 36 touchdowns. I think he's going to be better this year. I think this is an underrated kid. Everybody gives the credit to the Mike Leach offense, which there is a lot to do with that. But this kid is ultra accurate. I like Will Rogers a lot. And, I think Memphis, unfortunately for Tiger fans, is going in the wrong direction. After 7 consecutive winning seasons, they were 6-6 last year. They were lucky to be 6-6 because of the break they got in this game. I had Memphis last year. If I was playing this game, I would lay the number. I think Mississippi State comes out and makes a statement. I think Mississippi State's going to be a tricky out this year.
Walking on Memphis was my headline. I'm with you on this one. Mississippi State. I can't believe how far it took so long to build up the Memphis program. It falls a lot faster, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
All right, one more before we get to Bama and Auburn. Oregon State, I know you guys are excited about this one. ESPN 9:30, late night kick. The late night slate, this is the highlight of it. They're only a 2-point favorite at home against Boise State, total of 56. Dunaway, that is a skinny number for Oregon State hosting a group of 5 team because, and we'll get to Lance in a second, I know Lance likes this team, but only favored by 2 at home.
Yeah, I think that's Boise State's Chris Peterson reputation still hanging around, and our images of Corvallis and what Oregon State was. The Beavers are a better team now than they've been in, I don't know, long time for me. Boise State's not any. It's a big year for Andy Avalos. They don't like 7-5s up there. They're used to eating the caviar in 10-win seasons. This should have been a Pac-12 matchup many years ago. The Pac-12 should have pulled the trigger and had Boise State in the league, and maybe they wouldn't be in the situation they're in now. I think this is an Oregon State win. I love watching games at Corvallis. This is a new rebuilt stadium they're playing in tonight. I think it'll be the first time we get to see this rebuilt stadium. So I'm excited to see what it looks like tonight. Big night in Corvallis. I think Oregon State wins this one.
And they're up to over 26,000 seating capacity. I'm not joking about that. I agree. I think it's a cool backdrop. Oh, look, I love Jonathan Smith. And if we take out that weird abbreviated Pac-12 2020 year 1, 2 wins. Year 2, 5 wins. Last year, 7 wins. 15 returning starters. Chance Nolan at quarterback. This is my lock. This is my mega max play today. Ooh. I love Oregon State. I think Oregon State has got an outstanding shot, if they still had divisions, to win the Pac-12 North. I still think they have a shot at playing in the Pac-12 championship. I think he's building something out there. And the unfortunate thing is Jonathan Smith, a former quarterback at Oregon State, I would have said this is a job he could stay at forever with the way money is in the Power 5 now. But where the Pac-12 is going to be, I don't know. If Jonathan Smith really wants to win a championship, he's going to get an opportunity. This is one of the best young coaches in football. Oh,
so everyone's telling me, and you did too, LT, with that capacity. So we haven't rebuilt the stadium yet? I remember watching it implode.
Okay.
So we haven't rebuilt it yet?
Well, Andrew, who I think is up there, says, Jim, the stadium is half blasted.
Yeah.
By the way, after last night, so is Lance.
I'm good.
The stadium is
on the show tonight. Join us after the late games. We'll all be that way. Yeah,
that might be a problem.
The stadium is half blasted, so yeah, I don't know what the atmosphere will be like for that game.
Oh, it'll be like Vandy, Hawaii then.
Yeah. So LT, that is your lock. MyBookie.ag code next round. MyBookie.ag code next round. That's your lock tonight, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Oregon State needs to win that game because think about this. They go to Fresno State next week. That's going to be a really difficult game. I would assume that game's going to be around a picket, depending on what Oregon State does tonight. Then you get a break with Montana State, the Bobcats. But after that, you've got USC. You go to Utah. You go to Stanford. So Oregon State, if they don't get this game tonight, it could be a rocky start. I mean, if they want to get that 8 or 9 win and continue to, get the trajectory going in the program, they need to win tonight. I feel it. Feel good about it.
Hey, I accidentally skipped this game. I want both of you because I know we've talked a lot about this game this week. Dunaway, ESPN Plus 6:30 before we get to Alabama and Auburn. Georgia State at South Carolina. The Gamecocks right now a 13-point favorite. Over under 55.5 is the total in that one. I know Lance thinks it's going to be tricky, but Dunaway, how do you feel about the Gamecocks with the Spencer Rattler era starting?
I mean, we can't get all these great recruits and have Spencer Rattler and then go lose to Georgia State. We've got our big Gamecock name now. We've paid off the old couple to keep Big Spur, whatever his name, Big Game
Sir
Spur.
Big Spur.
Sir Big Spur, yeah. So it's not Cock Commander, it's not the General. So it would be what a horrible moment in South Carolina football history it'd be to go out after all of this and lose to Georgia State.
That's true. They're used to that.
I'll take the Gamecocks just for pride purposes only.
Again, Sean Elliott's done such a good job with this program. Georgia State was a doormat coming off an 8-win season. This is a team that beat Tennessee 4 years ago. They should have beaten Auburn last year. They've got one of the slowest, most productive running backs for a mid-major in Tucker Gregg. You guys remember that guy? The big. I don't know where the big back's coming in here.
Hello.
Anyway, I like Georgia State. I like Georgia State's game. I think it straight up upset a lot of 6-year guys on that Panther roster. I like Georgia State points. I'd even take the money line.
I feel awesome. There you go. It's gone, I think.
Okay. So anyway, you guys remember Tucker Gregg, the really slow white running back that basically went for 100+ against Auburn last year?
I do, yes.
I think he has a big day today against the South Carolina defense.
He's still there?
He's still there. South Carolina, I think, is in trouble.
Ooh, that would be horrible. I think it's Brown's microphone, Brown's headset or something. Is that what happened?
I don't know what happened. My bad.
Well, I believe either Georgia State wins the game outright or South Carolina can walk them off the field, if that makes any sense at all.
Makes plenty of sense. We hear you, Brown. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Something weird happened there. That's my apologies. It was weird in my headset. Okay. So
let me apologize. I forgot to plug up my computer. So that's when I started moving around and doing everything too. So
hey, we got another Dunaway in the making real quick. I got to bring this up. Our former intern, Jack Pools, texted me about plays.
Oh, God.
So he said, I need some really good ones. So I sent him a few and he said, should I play the money lines? Just play against a number.
It's going to be trouble here. Hey, real quick, before we get to Bama and Auburn, Lunsford, reminding everyone in the chat, we've got a TNR Daily Fantasy League you can play in. As Lunsford said, the games start at 11 at 6. I entered a DraftKings. I don't know if I'm in the right one, though, so I'm going to have to go.
Yeah, I did a day one. I haven't done our night one yet. And I got suckered into playing with a bunch of people I didn't know the other night. I mean, I like that if it's us playing with them, but I was the only one in the league, and I got completely dominated.
Oh, I'm in the staff only. I got to go get in the other one, so that's on me.
I'm gonna try to get it. I'm gonna try to get into all of that one. Heads up, Sterling. I'm not gonna be able to make it down today for the tamales. I got to get into these fantasy leagues.
Tease job.
No, but also, truthfully, Maggie's coming home tonight. The condo is in a very bachelor state right now.
Kids.
No, not that, guys. I just got to clean this place up before she gets home. She left me one thing when she left. She goes, when I come home, please don't make it look like I've been gone for 2 weeks and you've been living the bachelor life. So I got to clean this thing up.
Yeah, we're looking right.
What did M&M give you guys for your date night tonight?
M&M. Oh yeah, diamond encrusted. Hey, no, it's a football Saturday. I already told her. Welcome back, loving doesn't happen until Sunday.
Yeah, I like your set, Dunaway. You've done a good job with that. I think.
You like the backlighting?
Yeah, I do. I like the backlighting. The flag is a little tilted.
You know why?
Why?
Because that's a staircase right there, Brown. And I'm 5'10" and a half, so that's as high as I can reach.
Yeah. All right. Let's land this thing. Hey, thanks to JohnstonRVCenter.com, college football preview Saturday, JohnstonRVCenter.com, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. As Dunaway said, Sterling, I think, already knew Jim wasn't getting down there, but you can. Just off Highway 119 in Alabaster, Champy's world famous fried chicken. Great for your game days, great for your tailgating. The tamales, the po' boys, the chicken tenders, all of that great at Champy's. All right. The two in-state games, they're probably going to be snoozers, but let's see what you like against the point spread. We'll start down on the Plains, 6 o'clock ESPN Plus, SEC Network Plus. If you're an SEC Network subscriber, you don't need anything else. You get this game on SEC Network Plus. Auburn, 32.5-point favorite, total of 51 over the Mercer Bears LT.
Yeah, I think Mercer's going to have problems scoring. Look, Brian Harsin wants to come out. It was such adversity in this offseason. Guys leaving the program, speculation that he's going to be out at the end of this year, regardless of what happens. I'm interested to see who's going to step up at wide receiver and TJ Finley. If he really has control of this offense, I know it's against the Bears. They're a massive favorite here, but I want to see accuracy improved. I want to see command of the offense. I want to see some receivers step up. Auburn's going to win this game. Are they going to cover? I don't know. Defense could be really good again. Mercer's probably going to have a hard time getting to 10 points, but I don't trust the Auburn offense. So I don't know what to expect. I wouldn't play this game, but I am interested to see what Auburn looks like confidence-wise.
I think I'm right about this. Mercer, a top 25 FCS team. I think I'm right about this.
Okay.
Their program has improved a great deal. Not that they have a chance of winning this game, and not that they're Georgia State. But Auburn can't come out and slop it around like, say, the Mercer team Alabama played a few years ago when Mercer was just starting the program. Not a bad Mercer team coming to town. And I think Auburn needs to look sharp, especially if you're TJ Finley. But I'm looking for Robbie Ashford. How are they going to use him? Do they even show us how they're going to use him in this game today? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Brown, you play Nick Saban here. I'm going to give you a hypothetical. If Auburn was to lose this game, the 1 out of 1,000 chance, what happens?
I'm not sure he survives the night. Yeah, I mean, I know that's the point of that question. Brian Harsin probably doesn't survive.
No, it'd be old school torches and pitchforks, right?
Yeah,
it really would be.
Yes, they're just banging on the pitchfork.
Yeah, it'd be a great Fanville skit, though, wouldn't it? Let's run him out of town.
I saw it again this morning. I laugh every time Boz goes, "You're in tech country now."
I hate tech.
Lance was the first one to say it. I do love Boz.
I mean, what is going on with game day?
We got Jack Harlow, who's obviously lip syncing. First off, much like Lee Corso, we now have more lip syncing on game day.
He's wearing the Louis Vuitton Puerto Rican tuxedo.
Do you think that's a bit over the top of Louis Vuitton?
I mean, my God, he probably on that denim probably spent about $3,000.
Yeah,
I can't wait to hear his guest picks. I'm riding Jack Harlow. Actually, I would go directly against him.
Jack Harlow.
Is he doing a downward horn? I don't know Jack Harlow's history here.
I don't either.
Give me a little Zach Bryan and a guitar out there, a lot better. At least I know he's singing.
All right, Dunaway, start us off on Bama. Crimson Tide favorite 41 at home. A big total in this game. They expect a lot of points for Bama. It looks like 64 at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Bama by 1 million. I think they win at 66-0. No, I don't. These games are so hard. I think it was Landmine Believer in the chat moments ago said this. This used to be when the number was this big, easy money. You take the other side because Nick Saban, he has a plan. Yep. He does the plan, and at the end, the other team is under the number because he doesn't. He wants to work his plan, and his plan isn't beating teams 77-0. He has evaluations he likes to do in these situations. He likes to play a plan. But in recent years, that has changed a bit, and they have, maybe the 2s and 3s have been better at Alabama or something. They've gone out there and scored a lot of points. I don't know how to play this gambling wise. I know one thing I'm looking forward to is seeing Jermaine Burton in an Alabama uniform. How I just keep hearing rave reviews about his route running. If you see him today running great routes, how easy of a throw is that for Bryce Young? I'm looking forward to seeing the young guys, Holden, who's had such a great camp. And then I want to see Jahmyr Gibbs, that A-Day run where he took it 75 against some of the fastest defenders in college football and nobody could touch him. I just want to see that in real life today against somebody in a different color uniform. That's what I'll be watching. And yes, I will. Today I will turn down the sound and listen to my buddy Chris Stewart and John Parker Wilson on the play-by-play call.
For years it was Jerry Jeudy like the first or second play, Devontae Smith first or second play, Jamison Williams first or second play. I'm going to call it first play from scrimmage. Gibbs is going to bust 175 yards. Take it to the house. Everybody gets excited. I don't know if they cover. If I had to play it, I would lay it. I'm staying away from this game. Interesting number here, though. Utah State only the third team since 2000 to be a 20-plus favorite to go to a 20-plus dog. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
But that has happened in this situation. And Alabama's won 20 straight season openers. Do you guys remember the last team they lost to open the season?
UCLA, Dennis Franchione.
It was 2001. Very good.
Wow, that's been a long time. All right, so I can't hear what's going on game day. All I can see is over my shoulder. Josh says, "Stay in your lane, game day. No one wants to see this."
That's ridiculous.
MJ, good grief, game day. What is this? Brian, game day has jumped the shark with this performance. So apparently it did not go well for game day.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. As somebody was just texting me, "Do you watch game day?" And I've got it on like you guys, but I watched a little bit of before we jumped on it. We're going to be doing a live show every Saturday morning, so watch us instead of game day. We will not have Jack Harlow on.
I can verify that is the case. No Jack Harlow on game day.
I mean, do you know he's not on the Bama stage? Because we may have him on.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Big Earl's playing tonight. Steve was trying to sucker me down. He's like, "I want to let you know, Big Earl's down here too."
Hey, we had a friend of the show last night who was right there in the dome stage in the VIP area, sending out a lot of videos last night.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It's been pointed. I mean, it's been pointed out to us on Twitter. Bikini contest. Britt Decker is at the Bama. Any coincidence? I mean, she's done. Look, I mean, she wore a bikini on the stage for Miss America. Why not? Right?
Oh, I would be shocked.
I would too.
Absolutely shocked. But there's a bunch of people at Bama. My boy Chief's there. He was there last night. He's going to be back there tonight. It's very tempting. If this would have been last weekend, week 0, I'm in the car heading down 65, but not this week.
Yeah, you got nobody to drive you.
All right, a couple things here. Lunsford, guys, has texted us it's in our group text, the link to the the viewer/listener league. So we'll get on that on DraftKings. Go join that on DraftKings. If you have not already, you can share this video. Hey, we did an hour, 6 minutes here, and we still got an hour to go to kick. So maybe some people want to watch this. Support JohnstonRVCenter.com, JohnstonRVCenter.com. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman. Check those toy haulers starting at just $319 a month, or $219 a month, with approved credit. JohnstonRVCenter.com and Dunaway Champy's, world famous fried chicken.
Before I tell you about Champy's, 2 things real quick. Does that mean that link is what we send out, like from Twitter, so other people can join that league?
I really don't know. I'll let Lunsford answer that.
Okay, let me know about that, Lunsford. Number 2, yes, Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. More on them in a second. We do this at 9 o'clock because of College Game Day. I think the 9 to 10 o'clock hour is where they sort of stretch it out to make it a 3-hour show. So our plan is to slide right in here so you can watch 1 hour of game day, 9 to 10 with us, and then go back and see Corso and then make the picks and put on the headgear. That's why we do it right here every Saturday, 9 o'clock. Join us and we'll start off your day just like this. Champy's Chicken is part of it. Sterling and the crew down there, they'll take care of you. Blues, Brews, and Bird, champyschicken.com for your tailgate and for watching at home as well all football season, all basketball season too. Sterling loves some basketball, and he loves music. He loves America. It's champyschicken.com.
Loves his wife, loves his kids.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back after the game. So not as soon as Alabama goes final. We kind of, those late games are tight. We're going to watch those too and talk about those. But we'll be back sometime after Alabama and Auburn are finished. So
it's got to at least be after Ohio State, Notre Dame, right?
Well, assuming that's close. I mean, if it's 35-7, I'm okay going. I don't know.
If I'm undefeated at that point going into the Boise Oregon State game, I will. I'll get crazy with you guys.
Okay, let's get crazy, man. I like crazy.
Lance'sLock.com, 7 plays.
Yeah, Lance'sLock.com. His lock tonight is Oregon State. If you missed that earlier, give our video a thumbs up. Subscribe on YouTube if you're just lurking and watching. We appreciate it, but it helps us if you subscribe as well. If you're on another platform, like us, share us, all those things. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, JohnstonRVCenter.com. Thank you, Champy's Chicken. Thank all of you for joining us today. We'll see you tonight after the games. Have a fun football Saturday.